ladies and gentlemen, in view of the above, as I see waters rising, flood surging, landsliding, rain patterns changing, followed by prolonged droughts, I will say, I cannot just hope for others to do something about it. We can continue to denounce the rich for their greed and irresponsibility, but we must try to do small things, actually big things, with our own resources and hands, to save our own countries, our rivers and lakes, our seas and corals. We must stop logging and destroying our forests. We must plant millions of trees, preserve rainwater and rivers. We must stop dumping plastics and other non-degradable and toxic materials into our own rivers and seas. We must prevent overfishing and the depletion of our fish stock. If we do this in every country, every island, and in every tropical region from the Amazon to the Coral Triangle, we will mitigate the impact of climate change. We might not have to witness the disappearance of some islands, peoples and cultures in the next decades. We heard yesterday the moving speech by the President of Kiribati. I was almost in tears when he told us how his people might have to resettle elsewhere as their islands disappear in the next decades in our lifetime. Islanders and indigenous peoples are deeply attached to the land more than any other community. Let us pause and imagine the profound sadness, trauma, emotional distress of those who are forced to leave their ancestral lands, islands, because they are sinking, disappearing under the rising sea. They will not be the only climate change refugees. In the next 30 to 50 years, they will be joined by tens of millions from Asia to Africa. And as they move to safer and higher grounds, there will be new conflicts with others already there, all fighting for scarce land and water. I do not assign all blame to the rich and the powerful. Maybe what we experience today is an inevitable consequence of the development of human mind, of science, technology, industrialization. We could not have told the people in the 18th century that they should not build factories and power them with coal and fossil fuel. We could not tell them not to manufacture locomotives, ships, cars, tractors, and later airplanes. Life was simpler. There were fewer people just 500 years ago. Now we are 6 billion, sharing a shrinking planet with shrinking resources. So let us cherish the resources we have in each country, each island, each village, and we might still have enough for all. We might still save our planet. We just might. In my own country, we have launched programs to reduce poverty, create jobs, and preserve the environment and consolidate peace. With the government, we have launched a Clean City campaign where every Friday morning, thousands of civil servants are mobilized to clean the city and neighborhoods, clear the clogged canals, rivers, and beaches. I have launched the Delhi City of Peace campaign to turn our city and the whole country into an island of peace. My concept of peace is that peace must start at home, within the family, in the schools, in the streets. Peace must mean end of domestic violence against women and children. Peace must mean that we care about our elderly, the handicapped, HIV victims, the poorest of the poor. Peace means that we must be a model of solidarity and share our resources with other peoples in need. And this is not just a diplomatic speech. We translate it into action. Even though we are a very new country with limited resources, we have made contributions to peoples in China, Cuba, Burma, and Indonesia affected by natural disasters, with a total grant close to US $2 million so far. So I repeat, let's start in our own homes to try to save our common planet. May God, the Almighty and the Merciful, bless us all.
President Ramos-Horta, thank you from us all. What a very moving and powerful message from a man of peace. Thank you, sir. And now time for our closing address. I give you the President of the Global Humanitarian Forum, Kofi Annan.
Thank you very much, José Ramos-Horta, President of Timor-Leste. You gave us a powerful statement, but also put us through a sort of reality therapy, telling us what is likely not to happen. And it's just like you to be very practical and very down to earth. I remember one of the phrases I picked up during your independence struggle when we were working together in East Timor was that tomorrow begins today, and you should not wait to act. And I can see even on the issue of climate change and development, you are not waiting for others, you are pressing ahead, respecting that phrase. Dear friends, let me start by thanking you for coming to this forum and for all the energy and commitment you've shown over the last 2 days. We came together this year to highlight the human impact of climate change. We have heard from nations across the world, from political leaders, from representatives of civil society and business, from the young leaders of tomorrow, the leaders of 21st century who gave us their views, who also held their own forum, including an 11-year-old who yesterday told us, if you can do it, we are ready. The diversity of people and organizations who have contributed to our discussions underscores a fundamental truth about climate change, that it is truly global. It's truly a global problem, one whose impact is already being felt today. For some nations and communities, these consequences are immediate and frightening. We heard yesterday in a speech which will have left a lasting impression about what it means to be living on the front line in the battle against climate change. President Annan of the Republic of Kiribati pointed out that his small island, like others around the world, is shrinking alarmingly as sea levels rise. Recognizing that homes and livelihoods are bound to disappear, the President's government has put in place a process to manage orderly migration. We will, I'm afraid, need many more such innovative responses and urgently if we are to manage the diverse challenges of climate change. We need action on two fronts: mitigation and adaptation. This requires leadership, courage, and resources. Our discussions have also underlined that adaptation requires significant financial resources. This may be more easily secured if poorer nations can speak collectively about their climate needs. I hope that the ongoing work of the Global Humanitarian Forum and similar bodies can provide a platform for solidarity on this issue. We have also heard from how people's human rights to clean water, sanitation, food and housing are being undermined by climate change. Women and children, as we've heard, are always the hardest hit. We need urgent action to protect the world's poor from the effects of climate change. But if there is one key message that I would like to come out of this conference, it is that none of us is immune from its impact.